My wife and I don't have any children. We have a dog. We have a little puppy named Petunia. She's a tiny little French Bulldog puppy. I like having a puppy that's a bulldog because it's like having a baby that is also a grandma. Her body is young, her face is as old as time. She definitely saw the Nazis march into Paris. She always gives me this look of like, oh, the things I have seen, you cocksucker. You have no idea. The Gestapo threw my printing press into a river, but go tell your fucking jokes. Bring me my dish. She said that. Petunia is my best friend in the world. I give her 1 million kisses a day. She does not like me and barks at me and bites me all day long. We had to get a dog trainer into the apartment because Petunia is a bad dog. We tell her that every day. We go, hey, you're bad at being a dog. So the trainer came into the apartment. Didn't even walk into the apartment. Walked into the threshold and went, oh, okay. Like she was an exorcist or something. She said, I see what the problem is. She said, Petunia has become the alpha of the house. And then she pointed at me. She said, you are no longer the alpha of the house. And in the back of my head, I was like, I was never the alpha of the house. I turned to my wife. I was like, let's pretend. It'll be fun. Yes, my title of alpha, which I once had. How could I reclaim it? Because that was a thing that existed at one time. She said, you need to show dominance over your puppy. These are things people say to me. I said, how do I do that? She said, well, let me ask you this. Who eats dinner first, you or Petunia? I was like, Petunia eats dinner first. She eats dinner at 5 p.m. because she's a foot long and 2 years old. She said, no, you need to eat dinner first because the king eats before anyone else eats. Oh, yes. And what a mighty king I will be. Eating dinner at 4:45 in the afternoon. Look upon your sovereign, Petunia, and tremble. My lands stretch across this entire one bedroom, and I eat dinner whenever I choose, as long as it works for the schedule of a dog. She said, no, you don't actually have to eat dinner before Petunia. You just have to convince Petunia that you've already eaten. So, for the past month, I shit you not, before my wife and I give Petunia her dish, we take down empty bowls and spoons, and in front of her we go, dinner. Good dinner. Like we're space aliens in a play about human beings that they wrote but they didn't work that hard on. We're eating dinner. Meanwhile, Petunia's just staring at us with her Paul Giamatti face like... You're not eating dinner, cocksucker. Dish now. I have a wife and a dog. We have a new house. It was built in the 20s, but it was flipped in 2014, which means it's haunted, but it has a lovely kitchen backsplash. Actually, we didn't buy a house. A bank bought a house, and I'm allowed to keep my shirts and pants there while I pay it off for 30 years. The woman from the bank came over, and she showed me my mortgage broken down month by month for 30 years. And she said, so, for instance, this is what you'll pay in July of 2029. And I burst out laughing. I was like, 2029? That's not a real year. By 2029, I'll be drinking moon juice with President Jonathan Taylor Thomas. I'm not going to be writing you a paper check. I like having a house, but I loved looking for a house, because I love real estate agents. I mean, they are the true heroes. They really are. Have you ever watched HGTV? Real estate agents have to deal with the dumbest people in the world making the biggest decisions of their lives. Every episode of HGTV is like, Craig and Stasia are looking for a 2-story A-frame that's near Craig's job in the downtown, but also satisfies Stasia's need to be near the beach, which is nowhere near Craig's job. With 3 children and 9 on the way, and a max budget of $7, let's see what Lori Jo can do on this week's episode of You Don't Deserve a Beach House. I loved our real estate agent. It was so fun to hang out with her. It was like hanging out with my mom. Because, you know, real estate agents always look like your mom. And they have various Chico's accoutrements, and they always have kind of fun mom energy. And they're always so excited to see you two. We would have little conferences before we walked into a house. She'd go, let's talk before we go in. We're like 2 feet from the door. So there's no toilets. And I know that was on your lists. But I think I can get him to budge. Let's go. So we'd have a real estate agent, and then like the house would have a real estate agent who's just some guy sitting in a big chair, and these two always hated each other. It'd be like, hi, Tony, hi, Kim. It's like, Jesus Christ, what were you two in the Eagles together? What is the animosity about? Our real estate agent wanted us to have a baby more than anyone else in our lives, more than anyone in our family. She hinted about it constantly. Every room she walked into, she'd be like, so this could be an office? Or maybe a nursery? Yeah, haha, no, like we said, we don't know if we're gonna have it. No, I know. You don't know if you're gonna have them, but you never know. Sometimes you don't know what's gonna happen, and then, something happens. Well, yeah, that's how all of life works. Okay, all right. This is an on-fire garbage can. Could be a nursery. She showed me a backyard once. She goes, I don't even like this backyard for you. I was like, oh, do tell. She said, it's all pavement. I think you should have some grass out there. In case you have a couple little guys running around in the grass. And I got offended on behalf of my imaginary kids. I was like, hey, lady, I went outside about as much as Powder from the movie Powder. My children are not going to be playing out on grass. They will be up in their rooms playing violent video games and catfishing pedophiles. These are my children, and that's my wife. I didn't mean to make it sound like we don't want children. We don't, but I didn't mean to make it sound like that. See, I just don't think babies like me very much. Sometimes babies will point at me, and I don't care for that shit at all. Like, I'll be on an elevator, and a baby will be there in its big, like, stroller activity tray, just, like, working on one Cheerio with Bobby Fischer-like intensity, like... And then he'll look up at me and go... I like to lean in and go, stop snitching, motherfucker, and then walk on. Because you're never too young to learn our national no snitching policy. My friends have babies, and I don't do so well with them. I had a run-in with a 2-year-old girl. I know there are better ways to start that story, but... My friend Jeremy has this 2-year-old girl, and I really like her. She's a sweet kid. I really like his daughter a lot. But I was over at his family's house for the 4th of July, and he had his daughter on his knee, and it was a very lovely day. His whole extended family was there, and he was bouncing his 2-year-old up and down. And he pointed at me, and he said to his 2-year-old, do you know who that is? That's your Uncle John. And I was like, oh my God, that's so sweet. I'm her Uncle John. And then the baby pointed at me and said, Uncle John has a penis. I thank you for laughing, because no one did that day. Fell deadly silent is what they all did. Hey, do you know what you're supposed to say when a baby points at you and knowingly says he has a penis? No, I'm asking, because I don't know what to say in that situation. Here's what I went with that day. I said, oh, come on. I don't know, I thought that'd be good. But then it just made it worse, because it sounded like the baby and I had an arrangement not to talk about it, and she had violated my trust. Like the baby had been like, do you have a penis? And I was like, yes, I do, but you're a baby, so discretion is key. And then the next day she goes, he has a penis. And I go, oh, come on. Someone can't keep a secret. Luckily, Jeremy's wife saved the day. The baby's mom saved the day. She came in and she picked up the baby and she was like, it's okay. She's just going through that phase where she says penis and vagina a lot. Aren't we all? And by the way, it would have been a totally different situation if the baby had said vagina. Like if a grown woman had walked in the room and the baby had been like, she has a vagina, the woman could be like, yes, I do, and it's magnificent, and we would all be like, hooray! You are brave! No one wants to applaud the penis of a 32-year-old weirdo.